My fiancée Willow was happily gearing up for our wedding, all smiles and hype, while I was literally racing against the clock to deal with immigration procedures for my entire family. The reason behind all this mess was that Willow had a childhood friend who'd been secretly in love with her for years, like, obsessed level. To stop us from getting married, he even went as far as constantly cooking up so-called accidents. What I never imagined, not even in my craziest nightmares, was that every single time Makoto got into trouble, my family would immediately suffer some kind of disaster too. Right after that, a mysterious entity calling itself a system would pop up, forcing me to complete missions in exchange for a chance to save them. And the most messed up part? Willow clearly knew the truth behind all of this. She knew everything, yet she still hid it from me, straight up turning me into a sacrifice. Instead of stopping it, she protected and enabled every one of Makoto's actions. Since that was how she wanted it, I decided to give them exactly what they wished for. At the wedding ceremony, I replaced the projected wedding photos with an audio recording of Makoto confessing to framing me, then vanished completely with my family. After the truth came out, Willow completely lost it. Chapter 1. My mother was pushed down the stairs and fell into a coma, nearly turning into a vegetable. At Willow's urging, I once again accepted the system-assigned mission where the vicious male supporting role meets a tragic death, all in exchange for a chance to save my mom. Willow promised me that if I came back this time, she would marry me for real. After finishing the mission, I dragged my broken, blood-soaked body to the hospital, only to hear laughter and casual conversation coming from inside my mother's ward as I stood outside the door. "You've delayed your wedding with George so many times just to pacify Makoto. Aren't you scared he'll find out?" someone asked. Willow's voice followed, sounding calm. "Makoto's car accident happened because of me. I'm responsible for it. I promised him I'd do 3 things for him. Once those are done, I'll have the Ito family send him away." Makoto Ito was Willow's neighbor boy. He had liked her since childhood and chased her obsessively, but she rejected him every single time. The Ito family had no choice but to send him abroad to study. After he returned from overseas, he immediately went to confess to Willow again. When she rejected him yet again, Makoto went drinking in anger. While drunk, he got hit by a car on the road and was left with permanent aftereffects. Out of guilt, Willow took care of him for a long time and promised she would do 3 things for him. But to stop you two from getting married, he's already staged 3 accidents. This has to end. You can't keep letting George down. 3 accidents. Those words slammed into me like a sledgehammer, snapping me awake instantly. The first time was when Willow accepted my proposal. Makoto attempted suicide by slashing his wrists. Willow ditched me on the spot and rushed to find him. Right after that, my younger sister nearly drowned. That was also the first time Willow suggested I take on a system mission in exchange for a chance to save her. The second time was on the day of our engagement. Makoto swallowed a huge amount of pills and was rushed to the hospital for emergency stomach pumping. And by sheer coincidence, my father was also hit by a car and fell into a coma. The third time was the day we finished our wedding photos and were discussing the wedding date together. Makoto jumped into the river. Immediately after that, my mother was suddenly pushed down the stairs, left on the edge of death. Every single time Makoto got into trouble, my family was next in line to suffer. And every time, Willow would suggest I take on a system mission in exchange for treatment. Every time, I'd disappear for 3 months. Every time I came back from those hellish missions, I was covered in terrifying wounds. Willow would always look heartbroken, gently stroking every injury, her eyes filled with pain. Whenever we went out, she'd carefully protect me, making everyone jealous, saying she loved me to the extreme. But only now, through that conversation, did I finally learn the full truth. It turned out every injury my family suffered was personally orchestrated by Makoto, all to sabotage my engagement to Willow. And Willow, fully aware of the truth, still hid it from me, protecting and indulging every single one of Makoto's actions. At Makoto's suggestion, she even sent me off to carry out brutal missions, just to keep me out of the way and give them time alone together. My hand froze mid-air, the blood in my body turning ice cold in an instant. Tears blurred my vision. The person I'd loved for 5 years, the one who always said she loved me to the bone. At this moment, I couldn't see her clearly anymore. My nails dug deep into my flesh. Blood trickled between my fingers, mixing with the blood from my other wounds. The conversation inside the ward continued, while outside, my entire inner world had already collapsed. A friend reminded Willow again, "You can't let Makoto keep acting like this. You need to make a decision soon." Willow fell silent for a moment before saying, "This is the last time. I'll make things clear with the Ito family and have him sent away. 1 week later, my wedding with George will go on as scheduled." I was so furious my whole body shook. That was her so-called guilt. So why the hell was I the one paying the price? Enduring the heart-shredding pain, I contacted the system and confirmed that my mother's body would be fully restored after 30 minutes. After that, I went to the nurse's station and told them, "We'll be discharged tomorrow. Please stop arranging tomorrow's medication." The moment those words left my mouth, a familiar voice spoke up. "When did you get back? Why didn't you come look for me right away?" Willow reached out, trying to grab my hand. I instinctively avoided her and said, "I just got back. Not long ago." My sudden coldness made Willow pause. She asked, "What's wrong? Was this mission especially painful? I'll walk you back to the ward." What was physical pain compared to what was tearing up my heart? Emotional pain was way worse. I couldn't accept that she could say she loved me while doing things that hurt me this deeply. Willow stepped forward again, trying to hug me. "Once you're feeling a bit better, we'll get married right away. No time wasted." The chest that once felt warm now felt freezing, unbearably cold. Thinking about what I'd just heard, it felt like my heart had been stabbed straight through, the pain so intense I could barely breathe. If there had been no Makoto, would we already have been married long ago? Soon, a phone call yanked me back to reality. It was Makoto. As expected, he'd fallen again at home. Willow's brows immediately knitted together as she replied anxiously, "Don't move. I'll be there right away." After hanging up, she instantly let go of me and said, "Makoto fell at home. I'll go check on him and be right back. Wait for me." I grabbed her arm and asked, "He has servants and a butler at home. They can call an ambulance. Why does it have to be you?" Willow's expression darkened. "George, don't cause trouble. They can't take proper care of him." Before I could say anything else, Willow shook off my hand and rushed out of the hospital. Watching her disappearing figure, my eyes burned with pain once again. So many people, could none of them take care of him as well as you can alone? Willow, how many excuses like this are you still going to come up with? It took a long time before I finally suppressed the chaos in my heart and returned to the ward. My mother had already woken up. After talking with her for a bit and calming down, I told her, "Mom, after you're discharged, let's move to another city and live there together." My mother looked confused. "Why move away? Aren't you getting married to Willow?" Holding back the bitter ache flooding my chest, I said, "The person she's going to marry isn't me." My mother noticed the change in my emotions and didn't press further. She knew I wouldn't make such a decision lightly. "All right, we'll go back to Orange City. I'll contact your grandfather first." I nodded. "I don't want her to know. Once I finish handling things here, I'll return to Orange City." "That's fine. I'll notify Orange City in advance so they can prepare to receive us." Chapter 2. Back then my parents moved here because I worked in this city. As a family we wanted to be close to one another and look out for each other. But now that my marriage with her could no longer continue, wanting to return to our hometown in Orange City naturally meant making arrangements in advance. When they heard I was going back, everyone there was delighted. After all, the Wang family's business and foundation were all in Orange City. After my mother was discharged and returned home, she saw my father and my younger sister safe and well in the house. My eyes instantly welled up with tears. Thankfully, I had completed those brutal missions and obtained the system's recovery chance. If anything had really happened to them, I would have regretted it for the rest of my life. I would have hated myself for my stupidity. But to make sure they would never be hurt again, I still suggested that they return to Orange City first. "Dad, Mom, you go back first and get things settled. I'll follow soon." My parents listened to everything I said. "Then tomorrow your mother and I will go say goodbye to some old friends here. My sister asked in confusion, brother, if we're going back to Orange City, will Willow go too? I clenched my palm, rubbed her head, and said, it'll just be us going back. My sister seemed to sense something and asked again, you don't want Willow anymore, but you're about to get married. That sentence slammed straight into my chest. We had loved each other for so many years. From the day we met to the brink of marriage, it had been a full 5 years. 5 years of moments flooded my mind in an instant. Memories are a double-edged sword. The more beautiful the past, the crueler the truth. Suppressing the emotions surging in my heart, I told my sister Willow belongs here and our real home was never here to begin with. Don't tell anyone that we're leaving. My sister nodded obediently. Okay, I won't tell anyone. As soon as she finished speaking, Willow pushed the door open. Not telling who? What are you talking about, Lily? My sister instinctively glanced at me and said, the day before yesterday I overwatered Mom's flowers and drowned them. I asked my brother not to tell anyone else. Willow didn't suspect a thing. Oh, I see. It's fine. I'll help you keep it a secret too. My sister tactfully left. Willow closed the door and came over to my side. Auntie was discharged and you didn't tell me. It would have been easier if I'd gone to pick you up. It wasn't that I hadn't called. She hadn't answered a single one. Because Willow handled the admission procedures, I called again and again to ask her about the invoices. In the end, the person who picked up was Makoto. Are you looking for Willow? Sorry, she's asleep beside me. I knew they might be together, but hearing it still made my heart twist in pain. Willow took care of me all night. She's exhausted. Right now she's sleeping while holding me. The hand holding my phone trembled uncontrollably, but I still forced myself to stay calm. Then please wake her up. I have something important. Makoto flatly refused. That won't do. Willow is really tired. You can't wake her up. She's sleeping so soundly right now. If you don't believe me, I can send you a video. Before I could say anything, Makoto hung up and sent a video over. In the video, Willow was lying on Makoto's bed, her coat removed, wearing only her inner layer of clothing. The moment I saw it, my heart was stabbed violently and I couldn't breathe. I turned off my phone and rushed into the stairwell, suppressing the bitterness in my chest for a long time before I finally calmed down. Even now, that aching pain in my heart still hadn't faded. George, what are you thinking about? You seem a bit distracted, Willow asked. I snapped back, immediately averted my gaze and said nothing. I just didn't rest well. Was this mission especially exhausting for you? Willow stepped forward, trying to hug me. I pushed her away almost on reflex. How could she say something like that so lightly when all the suffering had been caused by her indulgence? How could such horrific damage be brushed off so casually? I clenched my fists tightly and looked at the person in front of me. Do you know how every vicious male supporting role ends up dying? Willow froze instantly. Of course she knew. She was the owner of a film company. She had read countless scripts. There was no way she didn't know how brutally villainous side characters died. Willow looked at me with pity and said, don't worry. You shouldn't have to go through that again. I'll protect every one of you. Will you really protect me? Yes. I swear. Then what about Makoto? Will you protect him the same way you protect me? Chapter 3. Willow froze instantly, her expression awkward. We had argued about Makoto before. Back then, Willow told me that Makoto was just a neighbor's younger brother. They had grown up together and he had been injured because of her. She said that once she finished making up for the mistake she felt responsible for, the Ito family would send him away. Willow claimed she had no love for Makoto, only guilt, the care of an older neighbor sister. But her care had long gone beyond family affection, beyond even friendship. Yet she stubbornly refused to admit it. Willow frowned and said, there won't be any more problems with Makoto. I'll make things clear with the Ito family and have him sent away immediately. These last few days, just indulge him a little. After that he won't bother us anymore. If this were the past, I really would have believed her. But now I wouldn't. Just as we were at a stalemate, the butler called. Miss Liu, Mr. Ito was accidentally locked inside the bedroom you share with Mr. Wang. That was the marital bedroom, my and Willow Liu's wedding room. What was he doing in there? What happened? I was only gone for a few hours, Willow asked. The servant quickly explained. Mr. Ito said he was in a bad mood and drank a bit. He said he was going upstairs to sleep. Later I heard smashing sounds upstairs. When I tried to open the door, I realized it wouldn't open. Hearing this, Willow replied immediately, "I'm coming back right now. There were things in that wedding room I needed to take with me." I grabbed Willow and said, "Since it's our wedding room, I should go back too." But I had just been jealous over Makoto. If I went back now and saw the room in chaos, things would definitely turn ugly. It must be a mess right now. Let me handle it first. I'll notify you when you can come back. The servant had heard things being smashed upstairs. That meant the trouble was happening in our wedding room. "Willow, were you trying to cover for Makoto again?" Willow left me behind and rushed off. But this time I was going to see for myself how she soothed Makoto. I changed my clothes and headed straight for the villa I shared with her. By the time I arrived, only the living room was intact. The staircase was littered with items. And all of them were mine. Makoto had thrown every single one out. Suppressing the anger boiling inside me, I walked to the bedroom door, only to see a scene that left me stunned. Willow was holding a drunken Makoto, gently comforting him. "Makoto, don't make trouble. If you're drunk, just rest properly." Makoto looked completely wasted lying in her arms. He reached up to touch her face. "Willow, I really like you. I like you so much." He cried one moment and laughed the next, throwing a drunken tantrum. "Willow, I'm sorry. I know I'm not worthy of you, but I can't control myself." Seeing how distressed Makoto looked, Willow immediately patted his back softly, soothing his emotions. The intimate movements. The tender tone. It was entirely the behavior of lovers. Makoto's gaze suddenly caught sight of me standing outside the door. He immediately turned back to Willow, lifting her face with both hands. "Willow, is this a dream? I know this must be a dream. Will you kiss me please? I really love you. Just indulge me this once, okay?" Makoto cried bitterly. Before she could say anything, he leaned in directly. Holding Willow tightly, he kissed her fiercely, and what shocked me was that she didn't push him away. Willow responded to Makoto's kiss, gently returning it until Makoto finally fell asleep. Standing outside the door, my mind went completely blank in an instant. All sound around me disappeared. I watched everything from start to finish. It felt as if all the blood in my body had been drained away, my legs completely numb. Only after Makoto fell asleep in her arms did Willow speak. "Makoto, I'm sorry. I can only satisfy you in a dream." I couldn't understand this pair of unhinged lunatics. I felt nothing but disgust. Looking at the smashed-up room, Willow planned to have the butler carry Makoto downstairs to rest in another bedroom. I turned around, ran downstairs, and rushed out of the villa, standing outside for a long time. It felt as though something was tightly wedged in my chest, neither able to rise nor sink, an unbearable mix of suffocation and bitterness. An hour later, I returned to the villa. The room hadn't even been cleaned up yet. It was still a complete mess. The wedding photos of Willow and me had been destroyed. Every photo of me had a huge cross drawn over it. All the gifts Willow had given me were scattered across the floor, slashed and ruined with scissors. Even our couple rings had been smashed out of shape by Makoto with a hammer. Looking at the devastation filling the room, my clenched fist suddenly relaxed. I wasn't that sad anymore. Because I was leaving anyway. And I had never planned to take anything that belonged to Willow and me. I opened the safe and took out the one thing I truly wanted to bring with me. Just as I was about to go downstairs, Makoto appeared at the doorway. With a loud thud, he dropped to his knees in front of me. "I'm sorry. I was drunk just now. I really didn't mean to do it. It's all my fault. I ruined your wedding room. It's all my fault." After saying that, he started slapping his own face, hard, over and over again. I didn't stop him. Because he deserved it. Hearing the commotion, Willow rushed in from outside, yanked Makoto up, and shielded him behind her as she said, "George, Makoto didn't do it on purpose. How could you force him like this?" Chapter 4. I was so angry I almost laughed. I clearly hadn't done anything at all. There are cameras right behind you. From start to finish, I didn't say a single word. He was the one who knelt down and apologized on his own. Seeing this, Makoto apologized to me again. "Sorry, I really was drunk just now. I thought there was a bad person chasing me, so I grabbed things and threw them at him. In the end, I thought I'd knocked him down, so I pinned him to the ground and kept hitting him. At that time, my mind wasn't clear. I didn't know what I was doing or what I'd done. I really don't know." Makoto glanced at the wedding room in total ruin. That drunken rampage was deliberate. an act he staged under the excuse of being drunk just to sabotage my wedding with Willow. The 3 chances Willow had promised him were already used up, yet he still wasn't willing to give up. So he deliberately designed this scene, having the servants inform us on purpose, forcefully kissing Willow right in front of me. Even the reason I learned the truth was because he had paid Willow's friend to set it all up. Makoto didn't believe that once I knew the truth, once I saw them kissing, I would still be able to endure it. He looked at Willow with a wronged expression and said, "Willow, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to destroy your wedding room. I didn't do anything else excessive, did I?" Whether he had done anything else, we all knew perfectly well. Yet the 2 of them tacitly avoided saying it out loud, which disgusted me to the extreme. Watching Makoto continue his performance, I snapped back angrily, "You really don't know what you did. I can call the police and have them come explain it to you." Makoto shook his head pitifully. "I'm sorry, Willow. I really don't know what else I did. I took out my phone. Then I'll let the police tell you, breaking into someone else's master bedroom and how much everything you smashed in this room is worth. They'll calculate it clearly for you. As for what else you did, I don't know, and I don't want to know." Willow immediately stopped me. "Makoto said he was drunk. He didn't do it on purpose. Why call the police? Don't be so aggressive. When you're truly speechless, you really do laugh." I shook her off and shouted, "He's 25, not 15. You indulged 15-year-old Makoto chasing love recklessly. But 25-year-old Makoto has to pay for his mistakes." Those words froze Willow on the spot. Had George already figured everything out? His parents aren't around. "I'm his guardian. I'll take responsibility," she said. I hadn't expected Willow to still want to shoulder everything for Makoto. He smashed our wedding room. He ruined our wedding photos. He destroyed everything we had. "You're going to take responsibility for all of that too." Willow's gaze was firm. "I'll take responsibility. I'll redecorate the wedding room, retake the wedding photos with you, and buy everything new for you. Broken things can indeed be replaced with new ones. But broken feelings can never be repaired. And nothing can replace a past that's been torn into chaos. Just like now, this mess of a wedding room, this mess of everything. I didn't want it anymore. What if I don't agree?" Seeing that I was about to call the police, Makoto suddenly dropped to his knees again with a loud thud. "I'm really sorry. If you want to blame someone, blame me. I'll compensate everything I..." Before Makoto could finish speaking, he collapsed to the ground, convulsing violently, his body twitching, white foam spilling from his mouth. Seeing Makoto have an episode, Willow forcefully knocked the phone out of my hand. I was caught off guard and fell to the ground. When I came to my senses, a sharp pain shot through my palm. I had pressed down on a shard of broken glass. Cold sweat instantly broke out from the pain. But what rang in my ears was Willow's furious scolding. "I already told you Makoto didn't do it on purpose. Why are you still stimulating him? Isn't it just a new wedding room? Once he's better, I'll redecorate it again." Willow didn't notice me at all, my face already flushed red from the pain. Instead, she ordered the butler to pick Makoto up and rushed out the door. Watching her anxious retreating figure, once again my emotions churned indescribably. I'd lost count of how many times she had abandoned me like this. Compared to the dramas she staged for Makoto, any harm done to me was never worth mentioning. Enduring the piercing pain, I stood up from the floor, gritted my teeth, pulled the glass shard out of my palm and tossed it aside. Everything familiar in this villa, this wedding room, I wanted none of it anymore. Even if she redecorated it better than before, I would never turn back. After hastily bandaging the wound, I picked up my things and prepared to leave. A servant stopped me. "Mr. Wang, where are you going?" Roma was Makoto's mobile surveillance camera. "Everything I did would be reported to Makoto. Do I need your permission to go anywhere? I think you've worked long enough. You can go home now." Roma's face instantly paled. "That's not what I meant. Butler settle her wages." Before Roma could argue, I directly had her dismissed and sent away. Chapter 5. When I returned to my parents' place, they had already packed everything up. "George will leave tomorrow. We'll go back first and get things arranged. Come back as soon as you can," my father said. "I'll take care of my own matters over the next few days," I replied. My sister noticed the bandage wrapped around my hand. "Brother, what happened to your hand? Why didn't Willow bring you back?" Only then did my mother notice my injury. "What happened?" I smiled and raised my hand slightly. "It's nothing. I accidentally got cut while clearing things out. Just then one of my mother's close friends called. She went into the room to take the call. I squatted down and spoke softly to my sister. I know you like Willow a lot, but Willow won't be able to have contact with us anymore. Do you understand? Only then did my sister fully understand what I had said earlier. She looked sad though she didn't say anything. Then when we leave we don't need to say goodbye to her, right? I rubbed her head gently. Some people don't need a goodbye. I understand, brother. My sister said no more and simply hugged me tightly. The next day after seeing my parents off at the airport, I had just gotten home when I saw Willow standing at the door. She seemed to have completely forgotten what happened yesterday. She came up and tried to take my hand. How about we go retake the wedding photos, or we can reprint them from the old negatives? It'll just take a bit more time. I deftly avoided her hand and didn't open the door, afraid she'd realize my parents had already left. So I stood at the entrance and replied calmly, whatever. It's not the first time it's been postponed. One more delay won't make a difference. The wedding that should have happened 2 years ago had been dragged out until now, sabotaged again and again by Makoto's schemes. And Willow had allowed Makoto to run wild like this, indulging his behavior in places I couldn't see. My cold tone made her look a little dejected. Are you still angry? He did smash things that day, but he was just drunk. I'll buy everything new for you. Come on, I'll take you to buy replacements right now. Whatever you like, I'll buy it for you. She grabbed my hand and pulled me downstairs, bringing me to the display counter. But I had already lost all interest. Some things, no matter how new you buy them, no matter how much you try to fix them, have already lost their original meaning. The feelings tied to them change completely, as well, never to return. Bring out your best, most expensive items, Willow said. The sales assistant immediately brought out the finest and priciest pieces for me to try. People passing by cast envious looks. Miss Lu really loves Mr. Wang. She always gives him the best and the most expensive. Exactly. I heard whenever he's sick or unwell, Miss Lu stays by his side. No one loves Mr. Wang like she does. If someone like Miss Lu loved me, I could die without regrets. Listening to all this praise, I found it nothing but ironic, ridiculously so. If you truly love someone, how could you not keep your distance from others? How could you indulge someone else in hurting the person you love? How could you kiss another person without the slightest restraint? I knew these people would soon take photos and post them on Weibo, and that Makoto, who obsessed over us, would definitely see them. So I picked up one watch after another to try them on. Every piece was good, yet I chose none of them. I kept finding faults until Willow Lu's phone rang. As expected, it was Makoto. He had seen the photos online. Willow, where are you? I want to pick out a suit for the next banquet. Can you come with me because of what happened last time? And feeling guilty toward George, Willow refused him for the first time. Sorry, I can't get away right now. I'll ask Shu Tingting to go with you. Shu Tingting, Willow's best friend. The one who knew all of their plans, who also had feelings for Makoto. She was the one who had tricked Willow into revealing the truth in the hospital ward. Makoto rejected the suggestion immediately. She's not free. I asked when I came. Are you with George right now? Willow glanced at me as I was trying on rings and answered softly, yes. I'm keeping him company because of the wedding room. So she really was with George. Makoto clenched his fist in anger but still spoke in a wronged tone. Then stay with him. I'm just worried that if I have another episode while I'm alone, I won't know what to do. Before Willow could reply, the sound of a phone dropping suddenly came from the call. Then a stranger's voice spoke. Are you a friend of the phone's owner? He just fainted. This is the Blue Whale store. Willow's heart skipped. I'll come right away. Please help keep an eye on him. She didn't even explain anything to me. Once again she left me standing alone at the counter and rushed off to find Makoto. Watching her retreating figure, I put down what I was holding. I don't want any of these. Almost everything here had been dealt with already. I bought a plane ticket for tomorrow. Tomorrow I would leave this place. Chapter 6. When Makoto woke up, he overheard Willow on the phone with his parents talking about sending him away. His fists clenched instantly. He immediately contacted the people who had helped him scheme several times before. This time, help me arrange for George's sister to get hit and sent flying. As long as she doesn't die, do whatever you want. But the reply came quickly. George's parents and sister have already left this place. There are no longer any of his family members here. Makoto couldn't believe it. How could they have left? When are they coming back? They're said to be traveling for a month. No one knows when they'll return. A whole month away, then wouldn't they miss Willow and George's wedding? And if his family wasn't around, how was he supposed to target the people close to George? How was he supposed to delay their wedding? Makoto punched the bed in fury. If he couldn't go after George's family, then he'd go after George himself. Best if George Wang never came back at all, trapped forever in the system world. That way he could be with Willow. Makoto sent me a message. Mr. Wang, I'd like to apologize to you in person. I had no idea what trick Makoto was playing this time and ignored him. So when Willow came in, Makoto put on a pitiful look. I want to apologize to Mr. Wang face to face. Could you ask him out? Willow thought Makoto was sincerely remorseful, so she called me out while I was in the middle of handing over my work at the company. The three of us stood downstairs outside my company. Makoto immediately stepped forward and apologized to me. I was leaving the next day and didn't want to say much. I just listened quietly, then turned around to head back upstairs. Seeing that I ignored him, Makoto put on an even more aggrieved expression. It seems Mr. Wang is still angry. Willow stepped forward and grabbed my arm. Makoto came specially to apologize. How can you act like this? I pulled my hand away from Willow. So you dragged me out of the company just for him? Makoto is sincerely apologizing. You should learn to let things go. Don't keep dwelling on it. Dwelling on it, I was so angry I actually laughed. I had never once voiced a complaint, yet I was the one being labeled as petty. Then I'll make it clear too, I will never forgive him. And you either, Willow. That part one didn't say out loud. The moment the words fell, a car charged straight toward us. Its target was me, meant to permanently cripple me so that Willow would give me up. At the instant the car rushed over, Willow instinctively pulled Makoto into her arms and dodged aside. I was struck head-on and sent flying, crashing to the ground like a rag doll lying in a pool of blood. Only Makoto was completely unharmed, cradled in Willow's arms. Even though they stumbled, he wasn't hurt in the slightest. At the most critical moment, Willow still chose to protect Makoto, not me. Willow, the words you said yourself, you never kept them. In that instant my heart was smashed to pieces, ground to dust. The last trace of love I had for Willow dissipated in a curtain of blood. My entire body was racked with shattered pain. The world slowly dimmed in my blood-filled vision. Looking at my miserable state, Makoto curled his lips into a smile. This was exactly the outcome he wanted. When Willow finally reacted, Makoto immediately pretended to faint, clinging tightly to her and refusing to let go. In the end, it was the security guards at the entrance who called 120 and rushed me to the hospital for emergency treatment. Chapter 7. While I lay in a coma, unable to wake up, I could still hear the sounds around me. All that surrounded me were the doctor's urgent voices and the beeping of various machines. There was no Willow's voice. And no Makoto's either. Very good. At a moment like this, Willow was still by Makoto's side. Makoto, who hadn't been hurt at all. The patient's blood pressure is dropping rapidly. Hurry, administer medication. The patient's pupils are about to dilate. Call the chief. The patient's will to survive is weak. I only felt exhausted, racked with pain, wanting nothing more than to sleep. Just as I was about to give up, the system found me. Host, you still have unused points. You can exchange them now. In order to complete tasks as quickly as possible and return to my family and Willow, I had always overperformed. Because of that, the system rated me highly and granted me a large number of points. I replied, but I'm very tired. Truly exhausted. The system knew I had lost my will to live and tried to encourage me. Think of your parents. Think of your sister. They're still waiting for you in Orange City. That's right, Dad, Mom, my sister. In an instant I wasn't sleepy anymore. Please help me exchange the remaining points for rapid recovery. Understood, host. Exchange successful. I hope you'll learn to love yourself better in the future. After the exchange, the system disappeared. On the operating table, my vital signs steadily returned to normal. The patient's blood pressure is stabilizing. Pupils are normal. Heart rate has recovered. I came back to life. Aside from surface wounds and bruises, everything else had fully recovered. Even the doctors said it was a miracle that I survived, but only I knew how much suffering it had taken to accumulate those points. Back in the ward, I didn't wake up until the anesthesia wore off. There was no one by my side. Only an ant in the neighboring bed was watching my four-drip for me. If it hadn't been for the point exchange, this would have been my funeral. "Young man, you're finally awake," the ant said. "How did you get hit so badly? Where are your family and your girlfriend?" I forced a smile. "They're out of town. As for a girlfriend, I don't have one." Just as I finished speaking, Willow pushed the door open. "What do you mean you don't have one? I'm sorry I'm late." I glanced at the ant in the next bed. She immediately understood and stopped talking. "It's nothing," I said. "I was talking about something else with the auntie." Willow didn't suspect a thing. "As long as you're okay." I thought it'd be much worse, but it doesn't look too serious. I clenched the blanket tightly, suppressing the emotions in my heart, and asked calmly, "What about Makoto? Where was he hurt? A few scrapes, or did his condition act up again?" Seeing the anger on my face, Willow thought I was still upset about what happened before. "I know you're angry, but Makoto really does have lasting aftereffects because of me. For him, that's not a small issue. Not a big deal." "So in your eyes, lying in a pool of blood is still not a big deal?" Bitterness surged through my chest. Why ask any more? Why keep tormenting myself? The moment I lay in that pool of blood and watched Willow carry Makoto away, my heart had already died. "Tomorrow is our wedding. Let's still hold it as scheduled. I'll get the best makeup artist to cover these injuries. The wounds on my body could be hidden under thick layers of makeup, but what about the wounds in my heart?" I forced myself to smile. "Then I'll wait for you." Willow was about to say something when Makoto's call came in. Seeing his name on the screen, I withdrew my gaze. "Go ahead. I don't need anyone here." Willow actually stood up. "Once tomorrow comes, everything will be fine. I'll be waiting for you on time." I hid all my emotions away. "All right." After Willow left, I could no longer contain myself. My emotions crashed over me like a tidal wave. Tears and sorrow drowned me completely. "Willow, you won't be waiting for me." The next morning at dawn, I completed my discharge procedures. I went home, picked up the luggage I had packed long ago, and went straight to the airport. Standing in the departure hall, I took one last look at this city. After living here for so many years, I felt not a trace of nostalgia. There were still messages from Willow on my phone asking whether I'd eaten. We were in the same hospital, yet she never came to see me, only kept sending messages. Without hesitation, I blocked all of Willow's contact information, boarded the plane, and left this place for good. But before leaving, I still had one big gift to present to Willow and Makoto at the wedding. The evil Makoto committed himself. He should pay the price for it. Chapter 8. When the accident happened, Makoto clung tightly to Willow and fainted in her arms. Seeing so many people rush toward George, their bodies blocking her view, Willow couldn't see George's condition at all. In the end, when she heard that someone had called 120, Willow finally took Makoto and left first. This was the last thing she would do for Makoto Ito, ensuring his safety. After that, she would have the Ito family take him away. After waking up, Makoto said to Willow, "You don't need to worry. Even if something happens, Mr. Wong can save himself. He's saved other people so many times before." Willow actually believed him. After all George had endured so many times, this time should be no different. Still, because she had taken Makoto and left first, George had seemed a little upset. Willow explained it to George afterward. After the explanation, George's emotions appeared to calm down, but she didn't notice anything unusual about him. She then immediately promised George that they would get married as soon as he was discharged with no more delays. At the time, George replied calmly that he would go to the wedding venue. Only then did Willow feel relieved and leave the ward to prepare for the wedding. After returning to the villa, she instructed the servants, "Where's Roma? Tell her to hurry up and stew something nourishing for George and send it over." The butler immediately explained, "Roma has already been dismissed by Mr. Wang. The new servant will arrive this afternoon." Willow was a little surprised. In the past, no matter what mistakes the servants made, George Wang never lost his temper. This time he had personally dismissed Roma, but if Roma had been dismissed, then it must have been Roma's fault. So Willow said again, "Have the new one come as soon as possible." "Has the room been cleaned up?" "The master bedroom has already been cleaned according to Mr. Wang's instructions. You can go up and take a look." Willow hurried upstairs and opened the door. The moment she saw the wedding room, she froze for several seconds. The entire room was empty. There was nothing there. Apart from a few of her own belongings, not a single item belonging to George remained. Standing at the doorway, Willow suddenly felt a sense of loss, as if something was missing from her heart. She immediately called for the butler, who hurried upstairs. "Where are the things from this room? Why isn't there a single thing of George's left?" the butler explained. "Don't you remember Mr. Ito smashed everything related to Mr. Wang? Not a single item was intact. Makoto had smashed things with precision, completely avoiding Willow's belongings and destroying everything that belonged to George. When George looked at the room full of wreckage, he only instructed the butler, clear out everything related to me from here. All of it." Only then did Willow realize that at the time she had been so focused on sending Makoto to the hospital that she hadn't paid any attention to how badly the room had been destroyed. "I was worried you might look for something later, so I recorded a video before cleaning it up," the butler said. "Please take a look. Nothing should have been mistakenly thrown away." The butler handed the video to Willow. In the footage, the room was in utter chaos. Nothing related to George had been spared. Those shattered belongings suddenly felt piercing to look at, even making her chest feel tight and uncomfortable. For the first time, she somewhat understood George's anger back then. Makoto had truly gone too far this time. He could no longer be kept around. Willow handed the phone back to the butler. "I'll redecorate the wedding room. Have people set everything back exactly the way it was before. Go to the bridal shop, retrieve our negatives, reprint the photos, hang them back up, and put everything in its original place. All the things I bought for George, his clothes, buy them all again. Get the best. By tomorrow this place must be restored to how it was before." The workload was enormous, but the butler had no choice but to nod and agree, then immediately went to take care of it. Willow looked at the now empty room and murmured to herself, "George, once this bridal suite is restored to how it originally was, we can still be the same as before." Without wasting a moment, she went to have people handle the wedding venue arrangements, trying to ensure that their wedding could still take place as scheduled tomorrow. After finishing everything, she called George the next day, only to find that his phone could no longer be reached. The first time she called, Willow thought she must have misheard. So she dialed again, but the second time she was still met with the message, "The number you have dialed has been deactivated." Willow froze for a few seconds. Why would the number be deactivated? Could it be that he had changed his number and simply hadn't had time to tell her yet? She then opened her WeChat chat with George and sent him a message. "George, did you change your number?" Unexpectedly, the message didn't go through. Instead, a red exclamation mark popped up with the notice, "You are not friends with this user." That red exclamation mark stunned Willow for several seconds. George had actually deleted her. Only at this moment did Willow seem to realize that something was wrong, so she pulled up every contact method related to George. The result was that George had deleted and blocked all of her contact information. Willow was completely unable to get in touch with George. Chapter 9. But after she finished explaining everything yesterday, he hadn't gotten angry at all. So what was going on now? A faint sense of unease rose in Willow's heart. She immediately rushed to the hospital. On the way, Makoto kept calling her. Willow had no mood to answer and directly hung up. After Willow left yesterday, she never came back. Now she wasn't answering her phone either, and Makoto grew irritated. When he saw George lying in a pool of blood, Makoto thought that even if he woke up, he would either be dead or crippled. That way the wedding wouldn't be able to proceed as scheduled and everything would still be under his control. But when he secretly went to check on George, he discovered that George was actually completely fine. Aside from some superficial injuries, there were no signs at all of the brutal impact one would expect from being hit and sent flying by a car. Unwilling to accept this, Makoto once barged into my hospital room and asked, "You're still not dead?" Looking at Makoto, I had already guessed everything. I replied calmly, "If you're not dead, how could I be? If anyone should die first, it should be you. You've done so many evil things. Can you even sleep at night?" Faced with my counterattack, Makoto was furious. "So what? Willow will still favor me. No matter what I do, she'll always stand on my side. Even when she saw you lying in a pool of blood, he was right. Willow was exactly like that. No matter when, she always ran toward Makoto without hesitation." I clenched my fist tightly and asked my parents and my sister, "Everything that happened to them, was that all you're doing?" And Willow knew it was you, Makoto sneered. "Of course. You figured it out too late. Willow never loved you in the first place. If she really loved you, how could she have indulged me in hurting your family over and over again? Even this car accident was my doing. I just wanted you to completely understand your position in Willow's heart. Makoto admitted to everything. All of it was done by him, and Willow was the one who covered for him. So many times of harm. So many times of pain I endured in those system missions. Even now I still couldn't forget them. There were nights when I would wake up from nightmares in terror, yet in their eyes it was nothing more than a game, playing with someone else's life. Seeing the look on my face, Makoto continued smugly, if you admit defeat then leave. Stop clinging to Willow shamelessly. I suppressed the turmoil in my heart and replied calmly, all right. I'll withdraw. The wedding the day after tomorrow, you go attend it. I think Willow will be very happy. After all, she's done so much for you. Who could possibly outweigh your place in her heart? Oh right. The address is the Grand Howard Hotel, first floor. Don't forget to be there on time. Makoto immediately grew smug. At least you know your place. After all, we're the ones who grew up together. I didn't want to hear anything more about them. Then I wish you two a happy marriage. Makoto turned and left the ward. The moment the door closed, I stopped the recording. I would entrust this video to a friend. This would be the gift I was giving to Willow and Makoto. When Willow arrived at the hospital, she found that the ward was already empty. She went to ask the nurse. The nurse recognized Willow. Wasn't she the one who had been taking care of another patient yesterday? He's already been discharged. Didn't you know? The nurse said calmly, though inwardly she thought the woman in front of her clearly had one foot in two boats. Willow was stunned. She stepped forward and grabbed the nurse. When was he discharged? Why didn't anyone tell me? The nurse shook her off. He was discharged this morning. You were busy taking care of someone else. Of course you wouldn't know. That sentence pierced straight into Willow's heart. Yesterday she really had only come once before going back to take care of Makoto. Maybe George had already been discharged and gone home. Willow rushed back to the house. Aside from a pile of newly purchased items, there was no sign of him anywhere in the villa. Had he gone to his parents' place? Willow hurried to where George's parents used to live. But no matter how she knocked or rang the doorbell, no one answered. She tried contacting his parents, only to discover that they had blocked her as well. From the neighbors she learned that George's parents had already left. One neighbor told Willow his mother said they were going traveling for a while. She took the younger sister with her. I even saw George dragging a suitcase this morning. I asked where he was going and he said he was going to stay with a friend for a few days. Hope seemed to reignite in Willow's heart. Maybe he was just staying with a friend to clear his head. It had to be that. After all, George had promised her in the hospital that he would attend the wedding. If he said he would come, then he would. For all these years George had always kept his word. Now all she needed to do was restore everything in the wedding room to how it used to be and hold the wedding as scheduled. Willow left George's parents' former residence and turned to prepare for the wedding. She would wait for George to appear at the wedding venue. But what she didn't know was, George would not appear. The only people who would show up tomorrow would be Makoto and the grand gift George had prepared for them. Chapter 10. Makoto kept calling Willow, but she didn't answer a single call. Instead she put him on Do Not Disturb. Right now she had no energy to deal with Makoto at all. Being dragged around by him day after day had already made her feel irritated. If Makoto hadn't gotten into trouble again and again, her wedding with George would have been completed long ago. The wedding room had been fully restored to its original state and all of George's belongings had been put back as well. Looking at everything before her, Willow smiled in satisfaction, waiting only for tomorrow's wedding. The next day the wedding proceeded as scheduled. However, even after the appointed time passed, George still hadn't shown up. Unable to reach him, Willow tried every way she could and finally contacted one of George's close friends. Anxiously, she asked, "Is George with you? Why hasn't he come to the wedding venue yet?" When David received Willow's call, his tone was filled with anger. "George has already left this place. You might as well marry Makoto instead." Willow froze for several seconds before speaking. "That's impossible. How could he leave? He promised me he'd come today." David really wanted to curse at her. "Do you seriously have no idea why he left? Think about everything you've done to George." Willow felt guilty for a moment, but she still refused to believe that George would leave. "He never lies. If he said he'd come today, then he will." It was laughable. David snapped back angrily, "How many times have you lied to George? Why is it that he's not allowed to lie to you even once? I'm telling you, George will never come back. You and Makoto can just stay tied together for life. David angrily hung up and blocked Willow. How is that possible? George promised me he'd come. Why isn't he here? Where did he go? No one could tell her where George was. Standing there, Willow felt her mind go blank in an instant. At that moment she truly realized it. George was gone. Just then Makoto appeared at the venue dressed in a suit. Willow, I'm here. Seeing Makoto show up, everyone around was stunned. Why had the groom suddenly changed? The moment Willow saw Makoto, her expression darkened. What are you doing here? Makoto hurried over, trying to take Willow's arm as he said, Of course I'm here to marry you. Willow, for some reason hearing Makoto call her Willow again made her feel disgusted and irritated. She forcefully shook him off. Please have some self-respect. Don't call me that again. And this is George's and my wedding. What do you think you're doing showing up like this? Leave immediately. Makoto hadn't expected Willow to push him away. He immediately looked aggrieved. Willow, George has already left. Marry me instead. Knowing that George had left, Willow felt even more irritated and didn't want to argue with him. My groom can only be George. It will never be you. She still hadn't forgotten George. Willow, can you really not see your own heart clearly? If you can't see it, then I'll help you see it clearly. You clearly love me, so why won't you admit it? Makoto shouted. I've always treated you as nothing more than a neighbor's younger brother. You're the one who kept clinging to me, Willow shot back. Makoto turned around and displayed photos on the big screen. Photos of Willow kissing him, photos of every moment she had stayed by his side. If you don't love me, Makoto demanded, then tell me, why were you willing to do all of this for me? The crowd erupted in an uproar. No one had expected that Willow, who appeared to love George so deeply on the surface, was secretly showing such blatant favoritism toward another man. Seeing the photos on the big screen, David rushed forward and angrily confronted Willow. You don't deserve George's love at all. He loved you with everything he had, and this is how you repaid him. By hurting him again and again. It was right for him to leave you. Someone like you will never understand love, and you don't deserve to have it. Even while being scolded, Willow still asked David, you know where George went, don't you tell me? I won't tell you, David replied coldly. You hurt him so deeply, you should take a good look at it yourself. David then played another video on the big screen. It was footage from the night Makoto went to see George. The words Makoto said in that video completely exposed his true face, making Willow finally see him clearly. Makoto immediately rushed over to beg her. Willow, that's not true. This is a setup. It's all a frame-up. I don't want to hear your explanations anymore, Willow said coldly. If George doesn't come back, I'll make you pay an equal price. She kicked Makoto away without hesitation, sending him crashing to the ground. Then she turned and left the hotel. Since no one would tell her where George had gone, she would go find him herself. Willow used every resource and connection she had. After several days, she finally learned George's whereabouts. It turned out his family hadn't gone traveling at all. They had returned to their hometown in Orange City. Only then did Willow understand. After Mother Wong woke up, they had already begun planning to leave. She suddenly remembered the conversation in the hospital that day. Perhaps at that moment George had already known everything. She couldn't imagine how disappointed George must have been back then. She owed him too much. And now she had to go to Orange City to bring George back. Chapter 11. When I got off the plane, it wasn't just my parents who came to pick me up. My maternal grandparents and paternal grandparents were there as well. The moment I saw all of them, my eyes instantly welled up. I ran over and hugged everyone tightly. My grandmother's eyes were moist too. She could tell how much pain I was holding inside and gently patted my back. All right. Now that you're back, everything starts over. Say a complete goodbye to the past. Orange City will be your new beginning. I pressed down the emotions in my chest. Okay, Grandma. My grandfather walked over with a smile. Now that you're back, stay in Orange City. Don't leave again. I nodded. This time I don't plan on leaving. After all, this is the place that truly belongs to me. Some people were carrying luggage, others catching up on old times. The whole family bustled about, lively and warm. I felt deeply comforted. As long as the family was together, nothing else really mattered. As for everything in the past, I would let it stay buried. Sealed away, never to be reopened. The Wang family held a certain standing in Orange City, though we had always kept a low profile. But once I returned, the social circles of Orange City stirred. Word spread that the Wang family's young master was back, well-born and reportedly handsome as well. Plenty of people tried to inquire about me, but since I rarely went out, few actually knew what I looked like. And having just come out of a painful relationship, I had no desire to get involved in another one. So I explained things to my father. Dad, I don't want to think about relationships for now. I just want to find a job first and slowly adapt to life here. My father knew that after being with Willow for so many years, it wasn't possible to detach from that relationship overnight. Coming back in the first place was meant to help me clear my head. He didn't want outside matters to disturb me either. I'll talk to them. No one will bother you anymore. Just take your time. Honestly, even going out to relax might not help. Over the years in chasing after Willow, I had already given up far too much. I wanted to find a job, go to work, and truly start living my own life. I respect your decision, my father said. But remember, no matter what happens, all of us are here to support you. My parents were always my strongest backing. Still, I chose to work at a company unrelated to our family to gain experience on my own. I passed the interview smoothly and started from the bottom, slowly familiarizing myself with the workplace. Every day I worked a regular 9 to 5. One morning I rushed out in a hurry. My electric scooter accidentally collided with another car. The other car was clearly expensive, but I was already about to be late, and being late meant getting publicly criticized again. Miss, I'm really sorry, I said quickly. I'm about to be late for work. Could I leave my contact information first? I'll reach out later to discuss compensation. The other party's assistant looked doubtful. What if you run off? How am I supposed to find you then? In desperation, I handed over my ID card as collateral and showed them my work badge. I'll leave these with you. I'll come get them after work and compensate you then. Inside the car, Anna hadn't said a word. From the corner of her eye, she kept watching the man outside. Had he really not recognized her? No, the assistant said firmly. We need to wait for traffic police. You're clearly trying to flee the scene. I glanced at the time again. Fine, might as well take the fine. Then let me call my manager and ask for half a day off. Before I could dial, the person inside the car finally spoke. No need. You go to work first. We'll discuss compensation later. I hadn't expected them to let me go. I exchanged contact information, got back on my scooter, and rushed to work. Even so, I was still scolded by my manager and had money docked from my pay. It's fine, I told myself. I've got a great mindset. I'll just leave earlier next time. I focused on finishing my work, planning to retrieve my ID after getting off work. After work, I contacted the other party. Hello, shall we meet somewhere to talk about the compensation? On the other end of the phone, Anna suppressed the excitement in her heart. All right. I'll send you the address. But just as I stepped out of the office building, a familiar figure appeared in front of me. It was Willow. She had still come to Orange City after all. The moment she saw me, Willow rushed over. George, can you come back with me? I instinctively stepped aside. We're already over. Willow looked emotionally agitated. These past few days, in order to find me, she had barely slept. She reached out to grab me. No, we're not over. How can we be over? You know you still love me. I've restored the wedding room to how it was. All your things have been replaced with new ones. Everything is just like before. I shook off Willow's hand. From the moment I left Orange City, everything between us was already over. Even if you replace everything by it all new, restore it exactly as it was, we can't go back. Everything in this world can be repaired, but feelings cannot. Chapter 12. Willow refused to believe it. I know this is just something you're saying out of anger. You haven't let go of me that quickly. What happened before was my fault. I didn't properly draw boundaries with Makoto. It won't happen again. What was the point of saying all this now? The damage had already been done. No amount of apology could make up for it. I didn't want to keep arguing with her there. I called security to block her and hurried away. I left the scene in a rush and did not accept Willow again. No matter what she did, some things, no matter how much you try to fix them, can never return to how they were at the beginning. Willow could deceive herself, but I couldn't. I went to the address the other party had given me and had the driver take me there. I'm inside. You'll see me as soon as you come in. Table 17. Anna was holding her phone, looking at me through the window as she told me her location. All right, I'll come find you right now. Please get the things ready. I went into the restaurant and immediately spotted Anna. I walked straight over. Sorry for keeping you waiting. How much compensation is needed, just tell me. Anna didn't rush to hand me a bill. Instead, she asked the waiter to pour me a glass of water first. Seeing how travel-worn I looked, clearly having rushed over straight after work, she said sit down and rest for a bit. We can talk about it later. I was a little surprised. She didn't seem in a hurry at all. But I'm worried about wasting your time. Judging by her car and the way she dressed, her status was clearly not low. People like her were usually very busy. Anna smiled. I'm not busy. And it's after work hours. I manage my own time. I sat down, took a sip of water, and asked again about the compensation. Seeing how anxious I was to settle things and leave, Anna felt a bit regretful. After all, it wasn't easy to finally meet him again, yet he hadn't recognized her at all. Actually, it's not that much, she said. How about Mr. Wang treating me to a meal to make up for it? I was a little surprised. The repair cost for that car definitely wouldn't be as cheap as just one meal. But thinking about it, eating a meal wasn't a loss either. All right then. You can order whatever you like today. Anna smiled. Then I won't hold back. She ordered a few dishes and handed the menu back to me. We ate and chatted lightly. Since we didn't really know each other, our conversation throughout the meal was polite and reserved. After finishing the meal, we walked out of the restaurant. Anna offered to give me a ride home, but I declined. Thank you. I'll just take a taxi. Goodbye. Anna didn't insist. They would meet again sooner or later. She just didn't know whether by then he would remember her. When I took a taxi home, I saw Willow standing outside. I hadn't expected her to find her way here. Every time I saw Willow, my emotions were complicated, from the initial heartbreak and suffocation to eventual resignation. I couldn't understand it and I couldn't accept it. The love I wanted was absolutely not like this. Seeing me return, Willow immediately stepped forward holding a bouquet of flowers. George, these are your favorite daisies. She blocked my way, trying to seek my forgiveness. But no bouquet could make up for the soul-crushing pain she had caused. I took the flowers from her hands and tossed them straight into the nearby trash can. I don't like them anymore. They were flowers Willow had carefully chosen, and I just threw them away like that. But compared to what she had done, this meant nothing. I know you're still angry and saying this on purpose. Then I'll bring something else tomorrow. I stopped in my tracks and snapped back angrily. No matter what you bring, we can never go back to the past. I did love you deeply. But the George of the past already died in those brutal missions you arranged again and again. The me now doesn't want anything to do with you anymore, let alone see you again. My sister immediately rushed out and stood protectively in front of me. My brother already said he doesn't want to see you. Please leave. Seeing my sister, Willow was filled with guilt. She had once even tacitly allowed Makoto to target such a young child. Before Willow could say anything, my sister pulled me inside and had the community security drive her away. But over the next week, Willow still stubbornly sent gifts every day. Each time I threw them into the trash right in front of her. No matter what Willow said, I didn't respond at all, completely treating her as if she didn't exist. In the end, I chose to call the police. The police came and took Willow away for a warning and education session. Only then did she quiet down for a while. My work and life finally returned to normal. But on my very first day back at work, my manager handed me a file and said this contract could only be handled by me. When I took the contract to the meeting location, I realized the other party was actually Willow. Chapter 13. I never expected that the partner I was supposed to negotiate with would turn out to be Willow. At that moment, all I wanted to do was turn around and leave. At the same time, I finally understood what my manager meant by only you can handle this cooperation. It turned out my manager had known all along. This must have been Willow explicitly requesting that I be the one to negotiate with her. Holding the contract, I turned around, walked out, and called my manager. Manager, I can't handle this deal. Assign someone else. My manager knew exactly how big this project was. If it went through, I would be promoted smoothly. How can you not handle it? Everyone else can. Only you can't. If you don't close this deal, don't bother coming back. He tore into me angrily. I endured his foul temper and waited until he finished venting. I really can't handle it. Since others can, then assign someone who can. But the other party had made it clear they wanted only me. They had even promised my manager that as long as I handled it the deal was guaranteed. Can't change it even if you can't, you have to either negotiate or get out. With a loud bang my manager slammed the phone down. For the sake of the project my manager chose to sacrifice me. Seeing that I was about to leave, Willow hurried over and stopped me. George, negotiate this project with me. I guarantee you'll get promoted. In order to win me back, Willow had moved part of her business to Orange City. Using her connections and influence, she had deliberately found the company I worked for and actively sought cooperation. Her goal was simple: to get close to me. After all, the last time I called the police, they had already warned her not to harass me. I stepped back, widening the distance between us. Sorry, I'm not interested in a promotion. Willow knew that since I had just returned, things wouldn't be easy for me. She reminded me calmly, but if you don't negotiate with me, this deal won't go through, and you'll be fired. I had just arrived in a new city to start over. Naturally, I needed this job. I never thought that one day Willow would resort to such despicable tactics against me. Whether I get fired has nothing to do with you. I'll have my manager assign someone else to negotiate with you. I walked past Willow about to leave, but she grabbed my arm. You just came back. Don't you need to keep this job? Back then when we lived there, our family had always been low-key. My parents barely worked and I was the only one employed. Everyone thought I was supporting the whole family. Even after coming back, we still lived quietly like ordinary people. Willow assumed that now that I had returned I needed this job and would have to swallow my pride and negotiate with her. I do need a job, I said coldly. But I don't need this kind of job. I tried to pry her hand off, but Willow clutched me tightly. If you forgive me, everything I have will be yours. I suddenly laughed. After all these years, it turned out Willow had always thought I was someone driven by material things. At that moment, I felt even more certain that leaving her had been the right choice. You don't understand me at all. I'd rather resign. When I looked at Willow, my eyes were filled with disappointment. I turned and left without hesitation. If I was going to get scolded anyway, I might as well submit my resignation first. I took my resignation letter and went to see my manager. His face was grim, but he didn't dare scold me. The moment he saw the letter, he panicked. If the deal doesn't go through, forget it. I'll assign someone else. But I insisted on resigning. My manager didn't dare approve it. Offending Willow would ruin him. You won't be sent there anymore. Just focus on your work for now. Let's leave it at that. I had no choice but to return to work. After that, my manager stopped arranging for me to liaise with Willow's company. Willow promised she wouldn't do anything to put me in an awkward position and said she'd give me time to calm down. I told her that no matter how long she waited, my decision wouldn't change, but she still persisted. From time to time, she continued having dealings with my company, deliberately creating chances for us to cross paths. I thought the matter had finally settled. But just a few days later, Makoto appeared. He joined my company as a new employee and became my colleague. On his first day, Makoto gave gifts to everyone except me. He came over and said, "Sorry, I didn't prepare one for you." Seeing Makoto again made my scalp prickle. Wherever he appeared, peace never followed. I ignored him and focused on my work. He actually leaned closer and whispered, "George, I'll make sure you won't be able to stay in Orange City either." I shot him a cold glance. Then try it. As soon as I stepped out of the company after work, Willow appeared at the entrance. Makoto immediately rushed toward her. Willow avoided him and walked straight toward me. "Today was my birthday. George, happy birthday. How about we have dinner together?" Makoto immediately cut in. "Uncle Lou said it's my first time in Orange City and asked me to stay at your place. Can you take me home?" So this was her idea of having completely cut ties with Makoto. I found it ridiculous. I already have plans. Hearing that, Willow's heart sank. Who did George have plans with? Who was he meeting for the first time? Willow felt a sense of crisis. She asked tensely, "Who are you meeting?" Chapter 14. Who I'm meeting is none of your business. You'd better hurry up and take your little brother home. I stepped past Willow, ready to leave, but she clearly had no intention of giving up. She had been in Orange City for so long and hadn't seen George interact with anyone else. This had to be an excuse he was using to brush her off. Don't misunderstand. I'm not going to interfere with him. That was all arranged by the elders. It has nothing to do with me. Your affairs have nothing to do with me either. You don't need to explain anything to me. As the two of them argued back and forth, Makoto was left standing to the side. He stepped forward again and hooked his arm around Willow's. "Willow, Uncle Lou already told you. You promised you'd take care of me in Orange City." Makoto knew Willow Lou was desperate to shake him off now. He clamped down hard on her arm, refusing to let go. Watching the two of them, I felt no disappointment or sadness anymore. Only the hope that they would be permanently tied to each other. I quickly walked past them and left. Seeing that I was about to go, Willow tried to fling Makoto off. But he still clutched her arm tightly. Enraged, Willow forcefully pried his fingers open. Makoto's hand was wrenched away so violently that his fingers nearly broke. She truly showed no mercy. By the time Willow tried to chase after me, I was already riding away. Makoto, still unwilling to give up, stepped forward again. "Willow, didn't you hear him just now? He already has a date. George doesn't love you at all. He's only been in Orange City for a short time and he's already seeing someone else." Those words didn't make Willow want to give up on me. Instead, they only made her more desperate to know who that person was. Makoto grabbed her arm again. "Willow, I really know I was wrong. Can't you forgive me? I'm the only one who truly loves you. George doesn't deserve you." This time Willow didn't soften at all. She shoved him to the ground. "Don't come near me again. And don't go anywhere near George. I will never forgive you. Find somewhere else to live. I don't welcome you where I am." Willow immediately went after me, determined to find out exactly who I had plans with. When I got home, my family had already prepared dinner. "George, wash your hands and come eat. We just finished cooking." I immediately put my things down. Seeing the steaming dishes, all the frustrations of the day vanished. My sister came over and handed me a box. "Brother, this is my gift for you." I opened it and found a pair of warm gloves. "It's getting cold. When you ride your bike, these will keep your hands warm." My mother touched my sister's head and said she used her own New Year's money and had me take her shopping for a long time before choosing these. I put the gloves on right away. "Thank you, Lily. I really love them. Come eat after dinner, we'll have cake." There were many people there that day. My grandparents had all come. My grandmother asked me, "George, do you have a partner?" They didn't know about my past. My parents hadn't told anyone. No. Hearing that I was single, my grandmother immediately perked up. "Grandma knows a nice girl. How about you try going on a blind date?" I was a little surprised and was about to refuse, but my grandmother sighed. "I know pressuring marriage isn't right, but you see, Grandma's getting old. I just can't help worrying about you." It wasn't just my grandparents. My parents had worried too, but they had always chosen to respect me. Although I didn't want to get into a relationship and was focused on work, I also didn't want to be that selfish. "All right. Then trouble you to introduce us. Whether it works out or not, we'll see." Seeing me finally agree, my grandmother beamed. Good. I'll contact them right away and set up a time. You're always buried in work. That's too much pressure. You should socialize more." I agreed verbally, but someone who's been hurt deeply doesn't just jump into a new relationship. The next day I took leave. When my manager asked why, I said I was going on a blind date, and he approved it. I arrived a bit early and had only been seated for a short while when Willow appeared. "George, come with me." She grabbed my arm. I shook her off. "What are you doing? Let go." She didn't release me. "Can we start over? We'll get married right away. I'll give you anything you want. No matter who you're meeting, they're not right for you. Only me, we're the most compatible." So that was it. She knew I was on a blind date. That meant my manager must have leaked it. This is the last time I'll say it. We are never getting back together. A relationship that's been shattered is like glass you smashed with your own hands. No matter how carefully you piece it back together, the cracks, the damage, will always be there. Chapter 15. Willow refused to let go. "We've loved each other for so many years. There's no one more suitable for you than me." She thought so because in the past I had always chased after her, giving everything without complaint. But no one would keep waiting in the same place after learning the truth. That was the past. The George from the past is already dead. The me now isn't that blind anymore. I know what's best for me. From the moment I learned the whole truth, you also died in my heart. Don't force me to hate you even more. Willow still wouldn't release me. I know everything that happened was my fault. Whatever punishment you want, I'm willing to accept it. Thinking of how my parents and my sister had been hurt by Makoto again and again, and all the suffering I myself had endured, the pain surged back up inside me. No punishment can ever make up for the pain my family and I went through. You will never understand what it feels like to die over and over again in despair. Let go of me. Willow had never truly thought about what George had gone through. Only now, seeing the pain in my eyes, did she finally understand. So it turned out she had caused him this much suffering. I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you properly. Please believe me. I called over a staff member. The waiter warned her, Miss, please let go of this gentleman or we'll call the police. Willow ignored the warning completely. Right now all she wanted was to win George back, even if it meant experiencing those same pains herself. I can't imagine how much you suffered back then, but I know it must have hurt terribly. I'm willing to go through the same pain you did. I grabbed the water on the table and splashed it straight onto Willow's face. Even if you went through it 10 times, it still wouldn't make up for it. Several staff members forcefully separated us. I immediately grabbed my coat and rushed outside, only to run straight into Makoto. Why was he here? We worked at the same company now. He had recently exposed his relationship with Willow himself, so it wasn't surprising that he knew about this from the manager. Makoto blocked my way. So how did the blind date go, George? Judging by that sour face, she didn't like you, did she? Look at you. Aren't you pathetic? Willow dumped you and now you can't even find another woman. Filth really did pour out of a filthy mouth. I took out 100 and stuffed it into a customer's hand. Let me borrow your coffee. I grabbed the cup and dumped it straight over Makoto's head. Hot coffee drenched him from top to bottom. Now take a good look. Between you and me, who really looks like the clown? Makoto let out a shrill scream. Willow, George is a vicious, scheming person. Willow didn't even bother with him. Even though it was Makoto who had told her about George coming here for a blind date, she had no interest in him at all now. She tried to hurry past Makoto, but he grabbed her tightly. Willow, can you take me home so I can change my clothes? George is already going on blind dates. Can't you see it clearly yet? He doesn't love you anymore. He already has someone new. Shut up, Willow snapped. George isn't that kind of person. If it weren't for you, we would have been married long ago. Makoto immediately got up from the ground and pulled out a photo showing it to Willow. Look, this is a picture of him eating with someone else. In the photo, George was dining with Anna. They didn't know it then, but someone had secretly taken pictures of them that day. Originally, a paparazzo had planned to expose it, but Anna had paid to suppress the story. Makoto had only managed to buy one photo. Seeing the two people in the photo, Willow felt as if her heart had been stabbed. This couldn't be real. I won't believe another word you say unless I see it with my own eyes. Otherwise I won't believe anything. Willow flung the photo back at him, shook him off, and rushed out of the cafe, wanting to find George and demand the truth. He had loved her so deeply. In their 5 years together they had been through so much. How could he fall for someone else so quickly? How could he casually go on blind dates? This had to be him acting out of anger, trying to drive her away. I fled the scene as if escaping. As for the blind date, I could only ask my grandmother to apologize to the other party. The car hadn't gone very far when another vehicle suddenly came out from a corner and slammed into me, sending both me and the bike flying. Fortunately, the other driver braked hard in time. Even so, the impact still left me injured. The driver was terrified. I'm sorry, I really didn't have time to brake. He suddenly rushed out. Anna frowned deeply. She was on her way to a blind date, an opportunity she had waited a long time for. Hurry up and get out to deal with it. We're running out of time. After the driver got out, he realized the person they had hit was the same man who had collided with them before and immediately told Anna. Anna's heart clenched. She quickly got out of the car and saw George lying on the ground, unable to straighten up from the pain. Guilt flooded her instantly. She immediately told the driver to take him to the hospital. Now and Willow, who had chased out of the cafe, happened to witness George being hit. By the time she crossed the street, they were already gone. Willow hurriedly flagged down a taxi. Quick, follow that car in front. Chapter 16. She had originally wanted to drive faster to make it to the blind date with George, but instead she ended up hitting him. Anna Sue was filled with guilt. Drive faster, but be careful. Yes, President Sue, I'll contact the hospital right now and have them prepare to receive us. While gripping the wheel tightly, the driver contacted the nearest hospital to arrange a ward in advance. They rushed George to the hospital at top speed. Get him examined immediately. I need to make sure he's all right. In truth, I wasn't seriously hurt, just a bit dizzy from the impact. That dizziness left me in a semi-conscious state. On the operating table, I drifted in and out of sleep, and once again those painful memories surfaced. Memories that hurt so badly, memories I had endured 3 separate times, wrapped around me again, the heart-rending pain returning in waves. Some wounds carved deep into the heart made me cry out as if trapped in a nightmare, jolting myself awake. When I opened my eyes, I was already in a hospital ward. Anna was standing beside me. I was momentarily confused. Why was she here, too? Seeing that I was awake, Anna immediately stepped forward to explain. I was the one who hit you just now. I'm sorry, so it was her who had hit me. Seeing how apologetic she looked, I quickly said I was partly at fault too. I was in a hurry and ran out suddenly. Anna stood by the bed looking calm, though inside she was extremely tense. How could he be fine? Even losing a single strand of hair would make me blame myself. Those words of course stayed in her heart. No, it was my fault. I told the driver to speed up. How are you feeling now? If anything feels off, I'll call the doctor. I moved my arms and legs. Everything felt fine. I'm okay. I should be able to be discharged this afternoon. Anna still wasn't reassured. You should stay for observation. I'm worried about possible aftereffects. If you feel uncomfortable anywhere, tell me immediately. I nodded helplessly. All right. I'll say something if I feel unwell. Last time I had hit Anna's car. This time Anna had hit me. So how was responsibility supposed to be assigned? This time it's my fault. I'll take full responsibility. Could we add each other on WeChat first? I thought about it. I'm fine. You don't need to take responsibility. Anna felt a bit disappointed. It seemed like adding him on WeChat wasn't going to happen. Looks like Grandma will have to give things another push later. She was about to put her QR code away when I had already scanned it. Let's add each other first. If there are any after effects, I'll come find you. With a soft ding, the friend request went through. Both of us smiled, just as Willow suddenly burst into the room. George, are you okay? Are you hurt? Where does it hurt? Willow's sudden appearance interrupted everything. Anna hadn't even processed the joy of adding George on WeChat before this unfamiliar woman stormed in, leaving her completely confused. What are you doing? Anna asked. Only then did Willow notice the person in front of her. Wasn't this the woman who had been eating with George at the restaurant that day? What does it matter to you what I'm doing? There's nothing for you here anymore. You can leave. Willow shoved Anna aside and rushed to my bedside. I'm sorry I'm late. Are you uncomfortable anywhere? Looking at her anxious, flustered expression, I felt nothing but discomfort. How fake it all seemed. Just like before, every time I returned from completing a system mission, she would look at me with the same concern and heartache. I said coldly, whether I'm hurt or not has nothing to do with you. The one who should leave is you. Please get out. I'm not leaving. I'll stay and take care of you. I know you're still angry. You can hit me, scold me, anything you want. Still the same words. I didn't want to hear a single one of them. Late repentance was worthless. I glanced at Anna. Miss Lou, please have some self-respect. My girlfriend is here. She probably doesn't like hearing you say things like that. Girlfriend, that single word stunned the other 2 people in the room. It felt like a heavy blow crashing down on Willow's head. Who are you calling your girlfriend? Anna, on the other hand, calmly analyzed the situation. Since he said Miss Lou, he clearly wasn't telling her to have self-respect. Aside from Willow, there was no one else here, which meant the girlfriend he referred to as her heart suddenly surged with uncontrollable excitement. Miss Lou must be joking. Besides me, is there anyone else here? George's girlfriend is obviously me. So the one who should leave is you. Willow Lou shot up instantly. George, this must be someone you hired, right? There's no way you could fall for someone else so quickly. You said back then that you'd never marry anyone but me. How could you like someone else this fast? At that moment, Makoto's call came through. Willow didn't answer, but he kept calling over and over. I glanced at the screen and replied calmly, why wouldn't it be possible? We're already about to get engaged. Chapter 17. The news struck Willow like another bolt of lightning. Engaged? How could that be possible? Impossible. That can't be true. You've only been back for a short time. How long have you even known her? Do you really understand her? In such a short time you can't possibly understand someone fully. How could you make such a reckless decision? Willow suddenly lost control, almost hysterical, desperately trying to convince me that my choice was wrong. But I wasn't listening. Because time doesn't necessarily let you see a person clearly. After all, I had been with Willow for so many years only to discover in the end how unbearable the truth really was. Does spending a long time together guarantee clarity? No. Love, or the absence of it, is often clear from the very beginning. I sharply cut Willow off. Enough. If time could really make everything clear, then why didn't I see through you earlier? I suppose time deceives people too, or maybe I was just too stupid trusting you too much. My words came back to Willow like a boomerang, piercing straight through her heart, leaving her speechless for a long moment. After all, we really had been together for a very, very long time, and in the end she was the one who betrayed me. Anna seemed to finally understand what had happened between us when she saw the grief in my eyes. She immediately stepped in front of me, blocking Willow. Please leave. George needs to rest. Willow angrily tried to shove Anna aside, but Anna practiced Sonda. She wasn't someone who could be pushed around so easily. Anna swiftly seized Willow's wrist, applying enough force to immobilize her completely. I won't repeat myself, Anna said coldly. Have some self-respect. Aze. Anna flung Willow away. She stumbled back a few steps as Aze rushed in from outside. Miss Lu, please leave. Aze was tall and imposing. Willow was no match for him. Still she insisted. George the first. No, you still have feelings for me. You're going to regret making such a decision. She was still shouting as A dragged her out and slammed the door shut. I felt a bit awkward and explained to Anna, sorry. It was an emergency. I used you as a shield. Anna naturally understood what had just happened. It's okay. I get it. I worried that Willow might come looking for me again if I stayed in the hospital. Anna's people couldn't guard me forever. I should be discharged and go home. It's really nothing serious. I don't want my parents to worry. Anna was still concerned I might have lingering discomfort. It's fine. I'll have my people stay here with you. No need, I said, lifting the blanket and getting out of bed. I've already endured the worst pain imaginable. This doesn't count for much. From my words, Anna heard a deep sadness, something that could only come from having suffered something truly cruel. All right then, she relented. I'll take you home myself. Otherwise I won't feel at ease. I have to make sure you get home safely. After her repeated insistence, I finally agreed. Then please take me home safely. And help me keep it from my family. Just say I slipped and fell and you gave me a ride back. Anna looked surprised. Perhaps she hadn't expected me not to push the blame onto her. That's all right. I suddenly feel even more guilty. I smiled faintly. It's fine. As long as you get me home safely, there's no need to feel guilty. Anna had Aze bring the car around and drove me back to the Wang family home. When the car stopped at the gate, Anna helped me out. My sister had already seen us on the surveillance feed. Brother's back, but why do you look injured? Everyone panicked instantly. My grandparents were there too and rushed out immediately. George, what happened to you? My grandmother asked anxiously, the first to reach me. I let go of Anna and forced myself to walk on my own. I'm fine. See, everything's okay. Seeing the scrapes on my hands and face, my grandmother's heart ached. You still say you're fine. Look at all these injuries. You're always like this, only telling us the good things and hiding the bad. My mother noticed Anna standing nearby and asked curiously, did you send our George home? Anna was about to explain, but I cut in first. I fell down and she brought me back. The one who hit me ended up being made the Good Samaritan. Anna felt even more guilty inside. My mother immediately thanked her. Thank you for bringing George home. Anna responded awkwardly that it was nothing. Then my sister suddenly asked me, so brother, did you meet your blind date? I shook my head a little awkwardly. Let grandma explain the situation to them. My grandmother had been so focused on me that she hadn't noticed Anna. She turned to respond, then froze when she saw who was standing there. Anna, why is it you? You were the one who brought George back. Everyone was instantly confused. Grandma, you know her? My grandmother burst out laughing. Of course I do. This is the girl I arranged for George to meet. Come, let's go inside and talk. Anna, come in too. I hadn't expected that Anna was actually the blind date I was supposed to meet. Chapter 18. The two of us went inside and listened as Grandma explained the whole story. Only then did we realize that Anna and I had actually known each other as children. We had once been neighbors and often played together. Later I moved away and Anna went abroad with her parents. We lost contact and grew up separately. But my appearance had always remained in her memory while Anna herself had undergone a complete transformation. I actually still remembered that she had once given me something back then, only later we never managed to get in touch again. "Oh my, this really is fate," Grandma exclaimed. "You two actually knew each other long ago." Anna and I exchanged a glance and smiled awkwardly. "Then stay and have dinner," Grandma said warmly. "Anna, when did you return to the country? We didn't even know." "I just got back not long ago," Anna replied. "I'll probably develop my career here from now on. I won't be leaving again." Anna made a very good impression on my parents and Grandma was especially delighted. While they were chatting, Grandma pulled me aside. "What do you think of Anna?" I thought for a moment. Whether it's how she speaks or how she carries herself, there's really nothing to fault. "Quite good." Seeing that my evaluation of Anna was fairly high, Grandma immediately pressed on. "Then how about you give it a try and date her?" I exclaimed. "Grandma, we don't even really know each other. How can we date? Besides, I don't plan on dating right now." Grandma shook her head. "Feelings are built through dating. You get to know each other gradually." But having been hurt once already, I was skittish when it came to relationships. I wouldn't make decisions lightly. "Let's talk about it later. I don't have plans right now. I'll explain it to her properly." Just as I finished speaking, Anna appeared behind us. She was about to leave and came to say goodbye to Grandma and me. Grandma immediately told me to walk her out. Left with no choice, I escorted Anna to the door. At the entrance of the residential complex, I stopped. "I didn't expect that today's blind date would be you." Anna smiled. "That just proves we're destined, very deeply destined." That bond had started in childhood. Even though it was interrupted for years, it miraculously reconnected the moment she returned to the country. From the day Anna came back, she already knew that the person she had been thinking about was here. I didn't catch the deeper meaning behind her words, but I told Anna honestly that I didn't want to start a relationship right now. In fact, from the hospital that afternoon, Anna had already sensed that I might have just gone through a painful breakup. "It's fine," she said gently. "If you don't want to, I won't force you." Although she felt a bit regretful, Anna still wanted to fight for love in her own way. "I don't think that Miss Liu is going to give up so easily. My parents are also urging me. I think we could cooperate." I was immediately confused. "Cooperate, yes. Cooperate, pretend to be a couple. You can fool Miss Liu and I can deal with my parents." Given Willow's current level of obsession, she truly wasn't going to give up easily. I had called the police so many times, yet I still couldn't stop Willow's extreme behavior, especially after she heard that I was going on a blind date. "All right, I agree to this cooperation. We reached a mutual agreement. Then starting the day after tomorrow, I'll pick you up and drop you off from work," Anna said. "I happen to have an apartment right next to your place. It would look like we were just going the same way, and with that Willow would probably give up for good. Then I'll be troubling you." On the third day when I went to work, Anna was already waiting at the entrance. Everyone assumed we were dating and the elders finally felt reassured. After dropping me off at the company entrance and watching me go inside, Anna took out her phone and made a call. "Acquire Blue Whale as soon as possible." I was immediately confused. "Cooperate, yes. Cooperate, pretend to be a couple. You can fool Miss Liu and I can deal with my parents." Given Willow's current level of obsession, she truly wasn't going to give up easily. I had called the police so many times, yet I still couldn't stop Willow's extreme behavior, especially after she heard that I was going on a blind date. "All right, I agree to this cooperation. We reached a mutual agreement. Then starting the day after tomorrow, I'll pick you up and drop you off from work," Anna said. "I happen to have an apartment right next to your place. It would look like we were just going the same way, and with that Willow would probably give up for good. Then I'll be troubling you." On the third day when I went to work, Anna was already waiting at the entrance. Everyone assumed we were dating and the elders finally felt reassured. After dropping me off at the company entrance and watching me go inside, Anna took out her phone and made a call. "Acquire Blue Whale as soon as possible. I want to take over personally." The assistant was puzzled. President Sue, Blue Whale, is just a small company. There's no real profit in taking it over. What are you thinking, Anna? Sue replied coldly. There's someone inside that I want to protect. That evening Willow showed up again after work. She rushed over to cling to me. I've already set up an identical wedding house in Orange City, everything exactly the same. Let's get married today. All right, if you like Orange City, I'll move all my industries here. I just wanted to leave as quickly as possible, but Willow blocked my way, frantically bad-mouthing Anna. You don't understand her at all. She'll never love you more than I do. Someone like her is only with you for her own benefit. You're only marrying someone else out of anger at me. I feel sorry for you. Every word she said was torture to my ears. I must have been blind before. So this is your love, I said coldly. Using my love to hurt me, to hurt my family, this is what you call love? If loving someone means hurting them, then I'd rather not have it. My words left Willow speechless. Just then Anna appeared. She walked up to my side and snapped back angrily at Willow. I warned you. If you dare get close to him again, I won't be polite. Willow stood up defiantly. The one he loves is me, not you. Anna smiled. Then why don't you let George prove it? Let's see who he really loves. Chapter 19. I pulled Anna into my arms, my movements intimate and decisive. Of course it's you. In the end Willow could only watch as I left with Anna in my embrace, her entire world collapsing. Only then did she finally understand how I had felt back then, how heartbroken and devastated I had been. She hated herself for realizing it too late, for losing the person she loved the most. Makoto came out of the company and saw Willow crying in anguish. He immediately went up to her. Willow, just give up. He's already found someone else and is still hurting you like this. He never had you in his heart. Listening to Makoto's words, something clicked in Willow's mind. She realized that she had once been exactly like this. She had indulged Makoto, allowing him to hurt George again and again. How painful it must have been for George back then. Get lost, this is all your fault, Willow shouted. If it weren't for you, he would never have left me. Even though Willow treated Makoto roughly, he still refused to leave. But Willow, if you truly loved someone, how could you leave just because of those injuries? Makoto said stubbornly. Look at me, I wouldn't. No matter how you treat me, I won't leave. I'm the one who truly loves you. More and more people gathered around. Willow shoved Makoto away. Even if I don't marry George the first, will never marry you, I'll call your parents right now and have them take you away. If you won't leave, I'll personally make sure you're sent away. Makoto had no intention of leaving. He had come specifically to cling to Willow once again. Unfortunately for him, George was here too. If he wanted Willow, he would have to find a way to make George disappear from this place forever. The next day at work, the manager announced that I had passed my probation period with excellent performance and even received commendation. Everyone congratulated me after the meeting. Only Makoto stood to the side, laughing loudly. You don't actually think he passed probation through his own ability, do you? The others immediately looked at me with complicated expressions. Seeing this, Makoto quickly took out his phone and showed photos. Let me show you all so you won't be fooled in the future or have your credit stolen. He got this position by relying on a woman. The room erupted in an uproar. The photos showed me getting in and out of Anna's car every day. Ever since Makoto noticed someone picking me up and dropping me off daily, he had been staking out the area to secretly take photos. See, Makoto sneered. George is being kept. Who knows if she used her connections to get him through probation? He hasn't even been here long. Big projects, big collaborations. Everything just conveniently went smoothly for him. Doesn't that seem suspicious? The photos were passed around among my colleagues. People whispered in shock. That car alone looks incredibly expensive. Could it be true? Someone muttered quietly. Don't you remember right after he joined, some other boss specifically named him for a cooperation deal? He was probably already subjected to unspoken rules back then. Strange looks were cast my way. So he's that kind of person, I knew Makoto would stir up trouble. He had behaved himself for a while, but it turned out he was just collecting dirt on me. I stepped forward to explain. Yes, I do know that person. But she's my fiancée. What's wrong with my fiancée giving me a ride? Makoto laughed loudly. George, do you even hear yourself when you lie? Someone like you could be President Sue's fiancée. I checked her background. She's the newly returned President Sue. A trillion-level family fortune. Do you really think she'd choose you? At most she's just playing around with you. But you shouldn't use that kind of relationship in the workplace. Everyone else is working honestly and you're stealing opportunities from people who actually work hard. Makoto's words sounded reasonable on the surface. After all, some employees really had failed probation and been let go. One colleague suddenly stood up angrily in agreement. That's right, this is outrageous. You're disgusting. No skills but plenty of tricks to seduce women. That woman who's always downstairs, you hooked her too, didn't you? They were talking about Willow. Makoto immediately fanned the flames. That's right, you're all correct. George is a liar. A crowd surrounded me hurling insults, when suddenly a voice rang out from the entrance. Enough! Everyone looked up in shock. Standing there was none other than President Sue, the woman from the photos. Anna Sue had actually come to the company. Her face was cold, her eyes filled with anger. It seems none of you know that George is my fiancé, she said coolly. Then today let me formally introduce him. She walked over, took my hand firmly, giving me a sense of absolute security. And also, it wasn't him who seduced me. It was me who pursued him. The room fell completely silent. The manager rushed over in panic, stammering, I'm sorry, President Sue, I didn't know you were coming. You people should be working during office hours. What nonsense are you spreading? All of you get back to work. But I stopped Makoto. Don't move. I let you go once before, but today I won't. Makoto's face twisted with rage. What are you trying to do? I'm telling you, George, you'd better not abuse your power for personal revenge. Chapter 20. Hearing that, Anna smiled. Then sorry about that. I just happen to enjoy settling personal scores, she said lightly. George, how do you want to make sure he doesn't get away with it? She looked at me with indulgent affection. Even if I didn't act, she had no intention of letting Makoto off. During this time, in order to fully understand me, Anna had investigated everything. She discovered that so many of the things I'd suffered traced back to Makoto. If it weren't for Makoto, I would never have endured those injuries. I had let him go countless times, but not this time. I walked up to Makoto. What you did to me, I originally didn't plan to pursue it anymore. But this time you brought it upon yourself. The video I gave David that day had only been part of it. I had kept the rest, along with the truth from years ago. Back then, in order to stay with the Liu family, you deliberately arranged for someone to hit you, staged a car accident, and pretended to be left with aftereffects. Willow didn't know any of that. And everything you did afterward, I have evidence of it all. Now I'm going to send it to Willow. Makoto never expected I had uncovered these things. He went crazy and lunged for my phone, but Aze shoved him away with one palm. You can't send it, you're not allowed to send it, Makoto screamed. Even if you do, you two still won't end up together. I had never once thought about reconciliation. I sent everything to Willow by text, then blocked the number. Turning to Anna beside me, I said calmly, I don't want to see him again. And I don't want him to appear in Orange City ever again. Makoto sneered, trying to provoke me. So you want me fired? This company doesn't even have the surname Sue. Do you really think you can only rely on women? Anna Sue snapped back instantly, her voice cold and sharp. You're wrong. The Wang Group belongs to George's family. He never needed to rely on me. But this company, this one, is mine. I have the final say. Manager Ning, you know what to do. Manager Ning immediately stepped forward. Makoto, you're dismissed. Leave immediately. Security, escort him out. So the company actually belonged to George's fiancée, then didn't that make George the future owner? The office instantly fell silent. Everyone scattered back to their desks, not daring to say another word. Makoto was dragged out. Standing outside the building, Makoto knew Willow must have already received the evidence. He had no way out. No matter what he did now, he couldn't stay by Willow's side anymore. In his panic, a long-forgotten idea surfaced in his mind. He immediately made a call. Willow, come to Blue Whale. George is here too. I'll sincerely apologize to both of you. After receiving the evidence, Willow was already on her way. She never imagined Makoto had deceived her so thoroughly. And she, because of this liar, had hurt George again and again. She truly deserved to die for it. Willow thought Makoto would genuinely apologize this time. As long as he apologized, maybe George would forgive her. When Willow arrived, Makoto was waiting by the roadside. She rushed over and grabbed him by the throat, furious. All of this is because of you. Everything George suffered, every bit of pain, was because of you. Makoto struggled to breathe but still forced out a twisted smile. You really think all of George's suffering was caused by me? No. His pain came from you. Because you allowed my behavior. That's what was truly fatal. He really loved you. For you, he listened to everything you said. He accepted those brutal missions again and again. When you saw him come back covered in injuries, you didn't think they were fake, did you? I'm telling you, they were real. Makoto had said countless foolish things before, but this time he told the truth. And it pierced straight into Willow's heart. You're the one who hurt him the deepest, Makoto continued hoarsely. So we're the same kind of people, Willow. Those words shattered the last bit of Willow's sanity. She remembered every time George came back battered and broken. The pain in those memories made it impossible for her to forgive herself. I'll make you pay back every bit of pain you inflicted on George, she screamed. 100 times, no, 1,000 times over. Just as Makoto was about to suffocate under her grip, a car came speeding toward them. Willow instinctively loosened her hands. But the car still struck her with deadly precision, sending her flying violently to the ground. A tearing bone-deep pain surged through her body. At that moment she finally felt George's pain. So this was how much it hurt. So this was the unbearable agony he had endured. Makoto gasped for air at last and ran toward Willow on the ground. Willow, don't be afraid. I'll save you right now. But even as he said it, Makoto was already calculating his next move. And Willow, overwhelmed by pain, had no strength left to respond. When I rushed downstairs, I happened to witness the scene. Anna immediately covered my eyes. Don't look, she said softly. Let's go. Chapter 21. Seeing Willow being sent flying by the car, I couldn't describe what I felt. The scene was far too brutal. After hitting her, the car actually rolled back over her legs. Even if her life could be saved, those legs would be ruined forever. Yet Makoto held Willow and muttered to himself, I'll save you. This time I'll save you. Once I save you, I'll be your savior. You'll never be able to leave me again. People nearby were about to call 120, but Makoto stopped them. No need for doctors. I'll do the saving. Everyone thought he had been scared senseless. She's like this already, and you're not sending her to the hospital. She'll die. Makoto smiled dazedly. She won't die. I won't let Willow die. I want her alive. You're insane. She's like this. If you don't send her now, she'll definitely die. Are you out of your mind? Makoto suddenly smiled at the man. Relax. I have a system. I'll do missions to revive Willow. Once I complete the mission and exchange it for a healing opportunity, part of her injuries will be cured, but not her legs. As long as her legs are crippled, she won't be able to look for George anymore. Then I can bind her to me forever. The bystanders were instantly chilled to the bone. Call 120. This man is crazy. In the end, passers-by called an ambulance. Willow was rushed to the hospital while Makoto once again contacted the system. Arrange a mission for me right now. I'll do the vicious male supporting role dies tragically. Mission in exchange for saving Willow. The system replied, the rules have changed. You now need the other party's consent. Then hurry and enter Willow's consciousness and tell her I must save her immediately. Moments later, the system returned. She has agreed. You may now enter the system to complete the vicious male supporting role dies tragically mission. Makoto immediately entered the system. But no matter how many times he died, he could not complete the mission. He was permanently trapped in the system world. He desperately called the system to ask why. The system told him although Willow agreed after entering the system world, she committed suicide. Therefore you can no longer return. According to the system's rules, Makoto was left behind in the system world, forever looping through the tragic deaths of a vicious male supporting role. And this was the decision Willow made after learning the system's rules. This was what they owed George. They had to repay it. After everything that happened, the Wang family still wanted me to return and take over the company. The agreement between Anna and me no longer seemed to matter much, yet Anna felt a bit regretful. She decided to be proactive for love and speak her mind. Sometime later, Anna asked me out. How have you been feeling lately? She asked. Everything had already settled. My heart was calm again. I'm fine. How about you? Anna suddenly looked downcast. I'm not fine. I was surprised. She had always been composed. Why was she suddenly so low? What's wrong? Did something happen? Anna looked up at me. Something very serious. I tensed instantly. What is it? Do you need my help? If you do, just tell me. That was exactly what Anna had hoped for. This really is something only you can help with. It's extremely serious. I couldn't imagine what kind of problem only I could solve. Then tell me. What is it? Anna Sue clenched her hand, then took a ring out of her pocket. I want to be your wife. Is that okay? Before I could speak, Anna continued, I know it started as just an agreement, but I really searched for you for a long time. I never expected to meet you again right after returning home. I was so happy, but you didn't recognize me. Every time I saw you from afar I wanted to tell you, but I was afraid of disturbing you. The usually calm and capable President Sue was now stumbling over her words. Before she could finish, I took the ring from her hand and knelt down. This kind of thing should be done by the man. I'll borrow yours for now and make it up to you later. So my dear Miss Sue, will you marry me? Anna stared at me, so excited she forgot how to speak. She rushed forward and hugged me tightly. I will. I hugged her back, and this time I never let go.